This is perhaps one of the most anticipated books for Dungeons & Dragons to come out in recent years. GameMasters here, and this video is all about our first look at the Critical Role book, Call of the Netherdeep. Will we find out what the Call is? Will we find out what the Netherdeep is? Oh, and I've got something really odd going on with the pages of this book, and I'll definitely talk about that aspect a little later in the video. Why don't we just dive right in and take a look at the book? And I can't promise that there won't be spoilers, but I'm sure some of the spry viewers will find their own ways of seeing spoilers in this video. Critical Role is, of course, a wildly famous live stream show of folks playing Dungeons & Dragons. Call of the Netherdeep is a book of adventures set in Exandria, the world in which the campaign setting is, well, set. This world is created by Matt Mercer, but chances are you guys are fully aware of what Critical Role is. And this is where I gotta come clean. I've never watched an episode of it, I've never watched Vox Machina, and I know next to nothing about this book or campaign setting. I know the basics, but that's really the extent. So I feel confident that if I run across something in this book that's cool, it's either going to have to be mega cool, or you guys can make fun of me down in the comments because I'm totally ignorant of the concept. First things first, the disclaimer. The Netherdeep contains magical elements known to cause life-changing discoveries of ancient artifacts. Red crystals growing out of your skin, long swims in dark places, aberrant fish, and enemies to friends to enemies plots. Consult a cleric, or Matthew Mercer, to see if the path of the Netherdeep is right for you. And here we have the table of contents. It's kind of broken down into the introduction and 7 chapters, and the appendix looks like 6 appendices. The appendix count is 6. The introduction details out what the world of Exandria is and sets up what the player characters will do. As a side note, the 7 chapters are a massive adventure. This introduction sets up what to expect. In essence, a long time ago, there was a champion, Alyxian the Apotheon, that received blessings of 3 prime deities to save the world from a war known as the Calamity. The deities granted Alyxian an amulet, known as the Jewel of 3 Prayers. Centuries passed and the tales of Alyxian faded. 2 groups of adventurers, 2 groups, remember that, I'll cover it in a moment, are called upon to seek out this mythic hero and free him from a prison. The adventure starts out in Xorhas. Did I pronounce that correctly? Make fun of me if I didn't. And the players will travel to Jigao, Bazozan, Ank'Harel, Sel Moro, the Netherdeep, and remember this, and Radius, which is actually one of the moons, which actually the players don't go there, but it does pop up from time to time in this adventure. And all of these lands and towns, and moon, are found within Exandria. At the top of this video, we asked, will we find out what the Netherdeep is? Well, here it is. The Netherdeep is a realm of despair. It was created when the spear of Grumsh pierced through the material plane and into the elements plane of water. It is an extraplanar labyrinth of lightless trenches infused with the distorted emotions of a demigod who is both the Netherdeep's prisoner and jailer. Spoiler, looks like you'll hit this location in Chapter 6. The first chapter of this adventure finds the characters in a town called Jigao. This is a coastal town inhabited mostly by goblins and orcs. However, drow can also be found here as well, as other sparse pockets of other races too. The Festival of Merit also takes place in the first chapter's adventure. This is a festival of games and challenges where one might enter into a pie-eating contest or test their strength in an arm wrestling contest. During this festival, 2 adventuring parties are called to seek out the mythic hero Alyxian. Yep, you heard that right. 2 adventuring parties. And I told you we'd get back to that. Okay, so it breaks down like this. The players control an Adventure Party 1, and the Dungeon Master controls Adventure Party 2. And we saw something similar like this back in Strixhaven, A Curriculum of Chaos with college rivals. As the players move through the adventure, so do the rival adventuring group. If you're trying to get into a cavern to grab a lost ruby but dingle around in the tavern for 3 drinks longer than you should have, you can bet that the DM is going to take advantage of that and give the rival adventuring party a head start. As you gain experience and levels, so do they. Not that they're leeching experience from the players, they're just doing their own adventures and gaining their own experience. And here we have the adventure flowchart. Do a dramatic pause here so viewers can... Oh, I'm not supposed to read that part. There is a small amount of underwater adventuring, and this page suggests to the DM and players to be somewhat familiar with underwater combat rules, just to ensure a somewhat seamless and smooth session. And here we have the second adventuring party, also known as the Rivals, and I don't want to spend too much time. Spoilers, you know. Oh, and one more thing. The adventure here is designed for level 3 characters. Oh, and I love this, making mistakes. Dungeon Masters are fallible, just like everyone else, and even the most experienced DMs make mistakes. Simply put, correct your mistake and move on. This is a big adventure with loads of interweaving parts. I'm paraphrasing a little. No one expects you to memorize every word in the book. Just have fun and everything will be dandy. I love that advice. And here we have a pronunciation guide. Der, mot, worder. Lux on. Ruidus. Well, I like this. This is fun. Zjordhaus. Zjordhaus. That's not that much fun. But if you're having fun and enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm told that it helps with the almighty YouTube algorithm and gets my video out to more people, and I thank you for that. So, thumbs up. Now we jump into Chapter 1. As mentioned, you start off in Jigao and participate in the Festival of Might. You'll also go for a swim in the Emerald Grotto to search for, well, no, spoilers. I will spoil this, though. To last a little longer, you can grab a potion of water breathing, which is actually given to you just before the swimming competition. Just be quick about what you do underwater in that grotto. You only have about an hour's worth of underwater breathing. Once you have found the Emerald Eye, oh crap, I spoiled that one. You're going to have an encounter with someone that will move you into Chapter 2. You know, and I can see that I'm getting a few glares from some Dungeon Masters, so okay. With this being my first look into the book, sorry, I'm just a little excited. So let's jump ahead a little bit and bypass the adventure. I really don't want to spill it all in this video. Appendix A is all about the creatures and rivals, and I've purposely skipped a little ahead and moved past the rivals because I really don't want to give away major spoilers about them. That's something that could give the players an advantage. As for monsters, we have a corrupted giant shark, Death Embrace, and this is really like a man-o'-war jellyfish thing that has like 60-foot barbed tentacles. A Gloomstalker, a horizon-back tortoise. This sucker's got a big, giant, massive house on its back. A Light Devourer, Monastics of the Cobalt Soul, and we're going to do an in-depth video on that one for sure. Sorrowfish, Sword Wraiths. Appendix B is all about magic items from Breathing Bubble to a teleportation tablet. And don't worry, we're going to cover all of the magic items in a future video too. Appendix C are Medals of Merit. This is what you win when competing in the Festival of Merit back over in Chapter 1. Appendix D is Fragments of Suffering. I'm not really going to talk too much about that yet. Appendix E is story concept art. It's neat. I mean, just a few pages of it. I mean, like I said, it's neat. And then Appendix F is the perforated map. This is really what it looks like here. And I'm not going to tear it out just yet. I'm not sure if I want to give this book away or not, and if I do, I don't want the map to be completely removed from it. Remember my mention of odd goings-on with the pages of my book? Now, check this out. I'd be curious to know if others are experiencing this as well, but there are several strange pages in mine. I've never seen miscuts or odd folds like this, and this, you can actually feel it. And then there's another one here. The page itself, I mean, I can slip my whole finger back, almost like it's a pocket. The page doesn't feel thicker than any of the other pages, but it also, you know, I mean, it's kind of miscut there. And it's like this on several pages. I mean, it's a ridge cut, almost like, well, like I said, 2 sheets of paper were glued together. It's just really strange. I'd like to know if you guys are experiencing the same anomalies with your books. So players, DMs, experts of Critical Role, beginners just putting your toe into the Critical Role setting, Matt Mercer, hey, you could be watching. I hope you enjoyed our first look at Call of the Netherdeep, and in the days and weeks to come, I'm going to have many more videos to come out that's going to detail the monsters, magic items, and perhaps a spoiler or two about the adventures found within. So be sure to subscribe, click the Call of the Netherdeep playlist here, bookmark it, and as I make more videos, that's where they're going to grow and hang out. So thanks for watching our first look at this book, and again, until next our paths cross, may Rudius not bring you any misadventure.